Hey everybody,
Heyo.
welcome to the couch. We haven't had a traditional couch here in a couple
Haven't.
weeks,
I feel like we
so
haven't sat down and
yeah, just
done this.
jazzed.
Let's talk, James.
Let's talk.
I realized tonight, I don't know what the guy equivalent is, but you ever just like hear ladies like when there are things to say like, "Oh, that's fun."
Yeah,
It's just like that's the lady equivalent like, "That's cool."
yeah, sure. That's,
I was helping get like
nice.
an event started at work.
True.
Yeah, they're sitting there like, "Oh, that's fun." Oh, that's fun. Like I
Like
can't tell
enough
you.
to know that it was.
They're like, "Oh, that's fun." Like a bunch of just ladies all
Yeah.
over. It's like, "That's fun." I'm like, boy,
that's annoying.
not a real imaginative bunch.
No, I mean it's.
Hey, who am I to judge?
I mean everyone's got their little quirks. So
True.
that's for sure. I am super excited about
You can tell by the
E3.
look on our faces.
E3. I am stoked. I'm stoked. It's
Stoked.
like excited and stoked. It's a combination of emotion. There's gonna be some really cool stuff there because now there's
Yeah.
two consoles we want to pay attention to. All right, so Switch is gonna do some stuff. I'm sure they'll have some.
Are they
really
actually
cool
doing
things.
stuff at E3?
I think they're.
I heard they were getting away from E3, just doing their own directs.
I
Doing some
think
thing
they're
now.
doing their own directs, but I mean
Yeah.
they'll have new stuff at the time of E3. So some information, some gameplay.
Don't know.
I'm sure we'll see more on Mario Odyssey and Splatoon. Obviously, we'll see ARMS. But
Splatoon?
what is Splatoon?
Splatoon?
Yeah, that sounds right. So I'm sure we'll see some stuff there. I'd love to hear more about like Virtual
The ARMS-
Console and
I
things
downloaded
like
the
that.
ARMS demo.
Oh yeah, they were having
The-
a test shot. The problem was it was like for an hour at specific times.
Yeah, for 1 hour during specific days.
and
like,
I was, which I knew going into it, which is fine, but I was out. I was busy. I was visiting family, so
yeah.
it was tough.
Probably
I
not getting
downloaded
right
it with
hours
the
weekend.
idea to try it, but that's how it goes.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for E3 though. We're gonna try and go to the E3 experience. They're doing it in movie theaters again for the Sony conference, which is Monday
Which
night,
last
or
year was a
Sunday night.
really cool one.
Yeah, last year because you could watch it from PlayStation had an E3 app that came out for it. And I'm sure they'll do something like that this year. But so we watched it from my house. We just like pull up the E3 app and just watch the whole thing, and it was awesome. Was that 2
Watch
years
the
ago?
magic happen. No, it was last year because you lived here.
That's true. It was. So we're definitely gonna watch it. It just kind of depends on the ticket website went live yesterday,
Yeah.
and it just was like fraught with issues. So maybe by the time you guys see this, we'll actually have some. If not, no big deal. We'll watch it from
We'll
my
watch it
home.
here.
I have no problem with that. There's a couple cool things you get if you go. It was like a collectible trading card.
Yeah, there was like
Which
cards.
is weird, but I think
and
there was a poster too.
that's
which,
mainly what I want.
yeah, I like posters. I'm pretty posterific.
I wish I could hang them in my office. With concrete
Yeah.
walls. I
You
guess I
get
could do,
that
like,
old
sticky tack.
Yeah, sticky tack.
But I'm just kind of like way over my desk, and I'm like, it's just a back corner right now, anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Getting ready to do an office shift.
Yeah, so we're gonna
So-
try and do some good coverage for E3 as much as we are capable of. We're definitely gonna do a video the night of right after the PlayStation conference, and just kind of break
Quick
down
initial
some
reactions
stuff,
video.
initial reactions, some just thoughts on things and where we think their conference is at, and we might try and do one for the Microsoft conference the next day and some Nintendo stuff. It just kind of
Microsoft
depends.
was the day before.
Maybe it is. No.
PlayStation's last.
Well, we may still do stuff for
Yeah.
all the major. We'd like to do
Try and watch them and
do
Put
some
out
stuff.
comments for everything.
So if that gets into a video like every evening of E3, or if it's one for the Sony stuff and then another video just like an E3
rest of it.
summary. So we'll see. It just kind of
Where
depends
our heart
on.
lies.
Yeah, it depends on what our schedules look like. As
Think
it
we'll see
comes
anything
up.
for Death Stranding again.
I'm sure we will. It'll be weird and out of place and just as disconnected as the last couple reveals.
Unnecessary.
I would venture to see that we'll not only see the zombie game Days
Days
Gone.
Gone.
I venture there's going to be some playable stuff at E3.
No, not Media Molecule. It's Sony Bend.
Yeah, I bet you that E3 will have a playable alpha. Bet you they
Pretty
will.
dope.
I mean, we won't.
They don't do a lot of so they don't
But-
really do a lot of the. Here's the thing, and it's out now.
Yeah, sometimes they do, but
Usually
it's
for crappy stuff though.
never anything super. They had a Drawn to Death, I think, was announced at E3 last year, and they had a beta for it right then.
Yeah, look how
Um,
good Drawn to Death was.
I know. It's one of those things where they usually do one or two things that available now. So maybe we'll see something like that. Maybe that's when the Destiny beta will pop open.
Maybe.
I'd be surprised, but I'm sure we'll see some Destiny 2 on Sony stage D3. I mean, they got exclusivity again. There's
Destiny
no way
2,
they're
Call of Duty,
not going to show it off. Obviously, some Call of Duty.
probably some God of War.
Yeah, there's rumors that God of War could be coming out sooner rather than later.
I wonder if we see anything for the Insane Trilogy, Crash Bandicoot.
We might.
Doesn't that come out like
It comes out
on
June
the
30th.
30th? Yeah.
So I mean, we've
I don't know
seen.
if there'd be any
We've
point.
now seen gameplay from all 3 of the games.
Yeah.
So they've been releasing them like every Friday.
I watched them and I was kind of excited.
I mean, they look
I want to
great.
play them.
They look how I want them to look without changing the game.
I think it's the cool part
Looks
about
great.
like the people making games now, or the people that played games then.
Yeah.
So in their minds, Crash has always looked this good.
Yeah.
But obviously
sure.
it hasn't.
So I mean, I think we might see a little bit, but I don't think there's anything.
I think it'll
to
probably be one of
show.
those like
Just a
big
reminder.
like montage things.
Yeah,
like
right at the
Crash
beginning and
Bandicoot.
end. Yeah, I'm trying to think of any other like big surprises we could see that I don't think people are expecting, like bold calls.
New Sony handheld,
I mean,
Switch competitor,
there's some. Boy, that'd just be stupid.
the
I
Vita
think
2.
personally.
That'd be awful.
I mean, they already know if they were gonna support it the same way that they supported the PS4, then great, go for it. But they're not going to.
No,
Sony's not a handheld.
Sony's out of the handheld game. PSP was
Everyone-
great. The Vita was okay.
Yeah, everyone points to the PSP like, oh, PSP sold like 80 million units. I'm like, yeah, but
You know why it sold 80 million
that was like
units?
10 years ago.
You could jailbreak it
Yeah,
and play other games on the
there's
PSP.
a lot of cool things you could
It
do.
was
with
not sold specifically for the Sony exclusives
Yeah.
on the PSP.
Yeah, so we'll see. I can't imagine we're gonna see that. There's rumors about a price drop possibly. Maybe some new bundles.
Price
at the
drop
existing prices.
In lieu of a console announcement.
I
Keep
mean,
up with the Scorpio
I
stuff.
can't imagine we're gonna hear anything about a new console or anything
No.
like that. They just had the Pro and
This had the Pro. If it's supposed to be the competitor for the Scorpio, and now if they have something else that is supposed to be the true competitor for the Scorpio, because the Pro is nothing to compete with for the Scorpio.
yeah. I mean, it's the PS4 Pro to Scorpio is what like PS4 to PS4 Pro is. Like it's just they're just different, and that's fine.
There's a gap.
What I'd be interested to see if there was some kind of comparison between the Pro and the Scorpio for Sony to be like, actually, there's only this much difference instead of this much. Like,
I mean, those stats are out.
Well, no, I
We've
know,
looked at them.
but I'm saying like from Sony's standpoint of like, here's the things we're doing with this game versus what the Scorpio is going to do with that game. See, there's not as big a difference as we think there is. So there's like. Everyone keeps throwing around like the teraflops number as like, oh yeah, well the PS4 Pro can do this, but
Great
the
number.
Xbox Scorpio can do that. And it's like, well, that's not the whole story. So what if
Yeah.
they'd be like, yeah, sure, has more of this, but we can do this, which they can't do. Like, what if they don't do 4K checkerboarding the same way, and therefore the 4K is different? Like, I don't know. So
I
maybe
know one thing PlayStation 4 Pro has the Scorpio doesn't. Exclusives.
Oh, that's true. That's important. Big things I would expect maybe from Microsoft conference. They got to have something to come with Scorpio in terms
They
of
need
exclusives.
a new IP or
Just
like
bringing back something
they
like
can't
Fable
bring Gears
or-
out. They
It's
just
got-
did Gears last year.
I mean, they just
Halo,
maybe a new Forza.
Halo 6.
Um,
Yeah, it's they did Forza Motorsport last year, I think. So
That
it
sounds
would be
right.
totally Forza Horizons year. Do they do every other like that?
I thought it was every 3 years for Forza
I wonder if you
Horizon.
see what was that game they put out with the one Sucker Punch made it Overdrive.
Okay, Sunset Overdrive.
Yeah, Sunset Overdrive. I wonder if we see like a
I mean, it
sequel
was
to that.
decently received. I don't know if it would
It's like a launch
justify a
game,
sequel.
right?
I mean, that was yeah, it was
Yeah, so it was
possible.
a one launch game. I wonder if Sucker Punch is working on that.
Boy,
Aren't they working on Spider-Man though?
they should be. They better be.
Yeah, so they're doing Spider-Man. So I don't know how big their team is.
Is
If they'd be
Sucker
doing
Punch
two games.
or is it Insomniac? Insomniac's doing Spider-Man. I always get those two confused.
right? So
I'm pretty sure Insomniac.
does Sucker
is.
Punch do Infamous?
Sucker Punch did Sly Cooper. Boy, we're getting our developers mixed up.
Hang on, let's look this up.
Time to Google Fi. Yeah, we're gonna figure this out.
We
real
should
quick.
know this, and I feel bad for not
Oh, I
knowing.
know. Insomniac's like
Insomniac is Ratchet.
Ratchet and Clank. I know that much. I'm pretty sure they're doing the Spider-Man reboot.
Studios. I'm assuming it's Sucker Punch Studios.
Sucker Punch Studios.
Sucker Punch Productions. My bad.
Sucker Punch Productions.
They did do Infamous. We were right.
Okay, sweet.
So they're not making Spider-Man.
Right.
That's
okay.
Insomniac.
It is
You're correct.
Insomniac.
So Sucker Punch
Sweet.
could be doing. Hang on. Games developed.
Mhm.
Rocket Robot on Wheels.
That's it. It's gonna be Rock and Roll Wheels 2.
Infamous Second Son, Infamous Second Light. Then who made Sunset Overdrive?
I kind of thought it was Sucker Punch.
So did I.
This is important, guys. This is really important.
Insomniac.
Oh.
So Insomniac's probably not working on Sunset Overdrive. I don't know if their team's that big.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see. I don't think Microsoft can truly launch Scorpio without having some exclusives.
No, they need to have something that sells that. But even then, like, everything is Xbox and PC, so we run into that technically not exclusive debate again. But
Yeah,
that will turn into the podcast really fast.
Yeah, sure. From Nintendo, I guess we kind of talked about what we're expecting from them. Sony, I think, will just blow us away with more games at the end of the day. Like the last
Man, if
couple
they do the
E3s,
same thing
they've
they did
done
last
really
year,
well. You know,
It's like boom, boom, boom. Games.
hammer
We
them
play
out,
PlayStation.
show
We
us some
don't watch
gameplay.
PlayStation.
You know, so I mean, I'm kind of happy with where PlayStation's at as a console itself.
Yeah.
I'd like to maybe see some more VR stuff. You know, VR had some good sales, has some strong stuff. Farpoint just came out. They've had some consistent stuff that's been good. So I'd like to see what they're gonna do next. Like, what's the next step for PlayStation VR? Maybe I can't imagine it'd be a price drop already.
No, what if that's maybe that's.
But I'd like
what
to
everybody's
see
talking about.
going from less of the like single mission, like smaller games, to like a full size game as VR.
Less of the tech demos and more of the full games.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think that's a lot of it's just understanding the hardware and getting used to it, getting people to buy into it, and now give us a full experience that's not Resident Evil 7. You know, I'm still
or
like,
an on-rail shooter.
I still want one. You know, that hasn't changed. You know, I saw an article or a post on Reddit the other day. It was just asking PSVR owners, like, if you guys still use it all the time. And almost everyone answers, like, yeah, I use it like once or twice a week. Like, I don't use it for everyday gaming, but it's fun to just go in and do VR stuff. And
Yeah.
there wasn't a lot of people that were super disappointed about it, you know, and it's Reddit, so you never really know if it's all true and, you know, corporate chills and stuff like that. But, you know, it's just small sample size. People seem to be happy about it. And games seem to come out that are favorable for it. Some are going to suck. It's like, you know, that's how it goes. So
Just like any gaming.
I'm sure we'll see more for VR. I'd be surprised if we didn't see more for VR. I'd just like to see maybe a little bit more mainstream ways to jump into it in terms of, like, let's have like a God of War section that's VR, or let's have Battlefield 1 now with a completely VR campaign.
I wonder if we see something for Call of Duty in VR.
I mean, I'd be surprised because it
Since-
would require Call of Duty to innovate.
Yeah.
But
Who's
like a
who's this
first-person
round?
shooter.
Sledgehammer?
Yeah, Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer's first, like, full-on.
Yeah.
The other ones they've done collabs on, basically.
Maybe they would if they're going back to World War II. Then
Boy, that
maybe
would
they
be,
just like, you know, these missions, like these like spec op missions or whatever, you can do in VR.
Yeah, I'd like a portion. That would be trippy.
That'd be a good way to like do it without. I think putting it in the main story would be like, you know, this mission you can play in VR. Then the whole time I'm playing that mission, I'm like, I could be playing this in VR.
Could be playing some VR. That's true.
It'd be better to put it in like a side, like a optional missions on the side.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That would be tough to do. But if anyone could do it, it's probably not Call of Duty.
No, probably not. Probably not Call of Duty and Sledgehammer games.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's gonna do it for the couch. If you guys have predictions, thoughts, things you guys are thinking about for E3, let them know.
Probably talk about this on the podcast.
Let us know
tomorrow.
below. Yeah, we might talk about a podcast tomorrow, but if we
Keep an eye out.
hear from you guys again between now and next week, we'll probably like post some of your guys' thoughts. You know, just throw up a couple screenshots.
Topics
of
for
what you guys
discussion.
thinking. Topics for discussion. So let us know. We'll do some shout outs, things like that. But as always, guys, thanks for hanging out.
Bye.
Bye.